Welcome to Logan's Mosh Pit. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. Gather round, bookworms, because the time has come for a new episode of Rock and Read. Today I will finish the book Red by the Red Rocker Sammy Hagar. I've had a ball reading this book to you, except when I embarrass myself back in chapter 8. Nevertheless, I'm gonna miss it. Without further ado, let's check out the last chapter. I have a real hard time giving up on the record business. That has nothing to do with my livelihood. It's just such a shame. People don't realize how dried up it's become. The only people that sell records anymore are brand new little pop bands that kids buy. For me, there is no record business. That breaks my heart. I want to make records. That's a big part of what I do. But even before Napster ruined everything, I was looking for ways around the major labels. I gave an album to the guys at Tower Records, who were starting a little label. The big companies had screwed me out of money for years. I had just been with MCA and the Bubble Factory with Marching to Mars and Red Voodoo, each of which sold nearly 500,000. It was not the kind of numbers I was used to selling, but I just wanted to make records. I saw all that going in the tank. I saw record companies changing, not putting any effort into a guy like me. All you need is one new song. I made a string of recordings and released them as singles, like Sam I Am or I'll Take You There, the old Staples singer song. Later, I might put them on a record, but they were really little more than tiny treats for radio and my fans. I started spending my own money. I'd write a song, record it in my studio, print it up, hire a promotion man, have him ship it to all the radio stations, pay a little bit of money here and there, and get it played so that I could have a new song. That was fun, not profitable, but I make money other ways. I can have fun with my music now. That's been the great gift of Cabo Wabo. The tequila business pays for me to still be in the music business. I could make money on tour, but I wouldn't be traveling in a private jet and staying in nice hotels when I'm at opening act or playing small venues. I wouldn't be making any records. My band gets paid like a big-time band. I don't take much money from my musical career, which makes me love it more. It takes the business out of it. That's been the most successful thing I've done. Take the business out of my music. Because now, anything I do comes from my heart, baby. I'm also free to do things like the Staples singer song. I love to not be bound by my image or what people think of me. I love that song. I was so happy to record it. It was like Sam I Am. I felt like I could write and record anything I want. There's no industry out there anyway. Bottom line is, I want to make records. I want to write songs. I want to go out and play new material for people. That was one of my main reasons for putting together Chickenfoot with Chad Smith on drums, Joe Satriani on guitar, and Michael Anthony on bass. It had begun several years earlier when Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers started coming down to the birthday bash every year. He bought a house down there. We would jam. I told him to never go to Cabo without calling me first. I'd call him and say I was going to Cabo the next day, and he would get on a plane and come down. He and Michael Anthony and I would play every night. We called our little trio Chickenfoot. We played cover tunes. We played anything we wanted. I'd let Mike sing lead. We used to do a great medley of Come Together and Give It Away by the Chili Peppers. We did James Brown, Hot Pants, Give It Up, Turn It Loose, Super Bad, Into Cold Sweat. We were rocking, having a really good time. Chad kept telling us, "This is it," he said. "Let's start a band." It took me about 5 years before the light went on. I promised myself I would never play with another genius guitar player, but I realized, for this band to work, it needed some kind of superstar guitarist. I can't play guitar and sing. That is way too much work. I can jam, but if I have to play everything every night, I'd be struggling a lot of the time. The first person I thought of was Joe Satriani. I had called Satriani about playing together a number of years before, and he told me, "I don't play other people's music." But I had seen him a few times since, and he seemed pretty cool. Quiet and aloof, distant, not too outgoing. This time, he was much more interested. Super Bowl weekend 2008 in Las Vegas, and I had a gig booked at Pearl, the big room at the Palms Hotel. Serious fun. We were sold out. Joe came home from tour. We picked up his amp and went to Vegas. Mike and Chad met us there. We talked it over in the dressing room. Just talked through. We didn't rehearse. We decided we all knew Going Down, Traffic's Mr. Fantasy, and Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll. We didn't discuss arrangements or anything. We just went out and did it. I did the show with the Wabos, and for the encore, I announced we were going to have some special guests, while the crew laid out Joe's gear and adjusted the drum kit for Chad. Mike's amp was already set up. From the first 30 seconds of Going Down, that audience went through the roof. I felt it. Everybody on stage felt it. Our wives, the crew, management, they all knew. Everybody in the hall felt it. It was electric. I had just done a great show with my band, played every hit you could possibly play, but this band did something else to that audience that was unique. This was a real band. From the first time we played, I knew we had stumbled on an impossible combination of musicianship and chemistry. The cool thing about Chickenfoot was not just that the chemistry was instantly right, but also that we were all grown-ups with our own careers, our own money. No one needed it. We played music that we liked. We weren't trying to be like this or be like that. We were exactly who and what we were, and we let whatever that was happen. They made it like jazz in its own way. It wasn't jazz, but it was like jazz, in the sense that we were four guys playing exactly the music we wanted to play, the way we wanted to play it. For us, it worked. I knew a so-called supergroup would get more attention. Record companies could get behind it, and we could go out and play all new stuff. Give me a break from I Can't Drive 55. I love those songs, but I don't enjoy beating them to death. The first Chickenfoot record did well. It went gold. We made a profit. I have a hard time spending a few $100,000 on a record and only make $100 back, but that's the way it is. The record industry has really died off. I go solo backwards. People like Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel leave a band to go solo. I've always gone solo first and then joined a band. They go solo because they are tired of being in a band. For me, I join bands because I need the inspiration. I learned so much in Montrose. How to play guitar like Ronnie, how to lead a band, how bands work. And I used it all in my solo career after Montrose. 10 years later, I was selling out multiple arenas, had 5 platinum albums in a row on Geffen, and I was ripe to join Van Halen when they asked. I was tired of doing my own thing, thinking of taking a year off, and didn't know what to do anyway. I needed to be around other musicians to make me grow again. 10 years with Van Halen, and I was ready to go solo again. Too bad I stayed that 11th year. I had already learned everything I could from that band. I wanted one last hurrah. I had been threatening to retire since 1984. Something always comes along that keeps me from quitting. Chickenfoot is the only new classic rock band in a long time. We fortunately avoided being called a supergroup. That's always impossible to live up to. We certainly were super players, everyone in the group. When we got together, Joe would start playing a song idea. Chad would chime in. Mikey learns faster than anyone. he'd act like he knew the song already. I would scat along, make up lyrics on the spot, or write words later. That's how we wrote every song. Joe would bring a new idea. By the end of the day, I had my part. Everybody knew what he was going to play. Magical performance. No teeth pulling. No having to extract anything out of anyone. With Chickenfoot, we simply went in and ripped it up. We decided we wanted our record to sound classic. We thought about working with Brendan O'Brien or one of the other hot young producers, but we hired Andy Johns, even though I refused to work with him for unlawful carnal knowledge. As much as I wanted to kill him, and eventually fired him from the Van Halen record, he made the greatest classic rock records ever. Led Zeppelin III, Exile on Main Street. Joe had worked with him too. We both knew he came with a lot of personal problems, but when Andy Johns sets microphones up around a drum kit, it starts rocking. The Chickenfoot album was one of only 12 albums to go gold in 2009. With Chad's whacked-out energy, I became the straight man. Anyone else would lose the groove 20 times by turning the beat around as often as he does, but he keeps the groove and plays everything you could possibly play in every song. He's one fierce drummer. He brings Joe out, makes Joe not be so conservative, and Joe can be a technician's technician, but not with Chickenfoot. There is nothing like the foot. Chickenfoot is never going to make me a billionaire. Why am I doing this, working so hard? If I wanted to be a billionaire, I probably could. I could take all I have right now and leverage it. I could work for it too. Another couple good ideas and, who knows, I could invent so many different places that are fun, which would be successful, that I'm sure I could do it if I wanted. It's probably not that hard, but I'm not interested. I don't want to be a billionaire. That would be the biggest waste of time on the planet. When I came up with Sammy's Beach Bar and Grill, I knew it was a great idea, but I had to wonder why I would do it. I didn't need the money. I learned I can do it and how to do it, and it seemed like the easiest thing in the world for me to do. I just couldn't think of a single reason to do it. Then I thought I could do it for charity. Carrie and I like to support charities that help children. I'm involved in this charity with the Beach Bar and Grill in Maui, helping desperately ill kids on the island. All our Beach Bar and Grills support charities in the cities where they're based. We helped pay for a kidney transplant for this girl. We didn't pay for the surgery, but we paid for her family to come with her to San Francisco, where she was having the operation. We built a number of these airport restaurants, Las Vegas, St. Louis, JFK Airport in New York, and they kicked down a steady stream of income to local charities working with children. This guy I work with on the Maui charity asked if I would talk to these teenagers that have been in orphanages. They got released and they don't have anybody. They don't have a brother or sister. They don't know where their mom or dad are. He said, these kids get in trouble. They don't have any other choice. He runs the shelter for them. They don't have any self-esteem, he says. They don't believe in themselves one bit. I can fix that. I can help these kids because I can say to them, first of all, no matter who your parents are, no matter where you're born, everybody is born with the same gifts. You've got the same ability as I have, as anybody has. Just because you don't know who your parents are, don't think that you don't have the ability to get whatever you want. You are just as powerful as me or anybody else. You're born with that. I know it's different for you in your heart, but I'm telling you, you were born with the same gift I was. The same gifts as the Kennedys or anybody else. You can get a cold like everybody else. You can get a job like everybody else. You can have a family. You can fall in love. You can be like everybody else. Nothing's different for you. You can be as much a success as anybody. And I know there is no end to success. I definitely believe in God, and even if I didn't, I believe you should. People have to believe in something. Without belief in something, you're just going in circles. I do believe in spiritual things. I believe in the unknown. I believe in God, and I believe in UFOs and aliens and all that mystery. I'm a big sucker for all that. One of my main issues is kindness and being a good person in life. I don't believe in killing people, inflicting your will on another person, and trying to hurt them in any way. I don't care how bad they are. It's not your business, and you around with that, you're around with evil. If people knew how sacred life is and wouldn't take another person's life, we'd be a much better off race. This planet would be in better shape. I won't do certain things. I know my fans see something in me that makes them respect me. I feel like I'm not worthy sometimes. I know I'm a good guy, that I mean well and give a lot of myself. But they see something in there, I guess, that's deeper than what I think of myself. I think of myself as a good guy, but I don't see myself as special. Unique, maybe, but I don't see some big star when I look in the mirror in the morning. I see my mom. She was the salt of the earth. She'd dig through dumpsters. When my mom used to take us out on weekends, her idea of going and doing something as a family was to take us 4 kids to the city dump and rummage, and we loved it. It was a blast finding stuff. It was like a treasure hunt to us kids. My mom would find food, like rotting fruits and vegetables that grocery stores were dumping. She would find 2 or 3 good oranges and be so happy. "Oh, look at these," she would say. I bought her houses and cars. There was nothing I wouldn't do for her, but she wouldn't have it. I had to practically force her to let me buy her anything. "Mom," I'd say, "just tell me. What do you want? What's something you've always wanted to do?" "Well, I don't know," she'd say. "I have pretty much everything I could want." She was so solid. I'm like that. I really don't feel like somebody. I don't feel like some big rock star, and I don't want to be some billionaire. I have all these crazy ambitions, but there's something inside of me that is my mom, and I really like that. Well, that's the end of the book. I put a poll in the community tab, so let me know what book you want me to replace this book with. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Till then, rock on.